If you search on Google Office 292 Trump Tower and open the corresponding PDF of the first search result, you will find yourself the most depressing rabbit hole conceivable. Basically, there's a company out there called CYM Corporation, which I will show you many states and companies work in tandem with, whose nexus is Trump Tower. And they detain all these individuals here who you can search all the way down to their birth date and do horrific things to them. And it's not just hundreds of children, it's probably not even thousands. It's probably more in the order of tens of thousands in abandoned military bases. As you can see here, United States Army Special Medical Corps. I will show you, by the way, how legitimate this is, but first I wanted to call attention to some of the addresses at the bottom of these pages. 725 Fifth Avenue, New York is Trump Tower. 200 4th Street in Annapolis, Maryland is a pediatrics center. And you can just do this all day and learn that these are real people, even those who are being promoted. Now, when we're talking about the promotions, just to reinforce that this is not bogus, I wanted to show you something. I was doing deep research on this topic and was led to an investment forum. And this name right here is pretty relevant. We'll search him in a second. But basically, here's one of their transactions on the part of CYM Corporation. If you click on this dude's name, you'll learn that he is a hired gun. So this is some shady stuff that is verified in the Panama Papers. A lot of companies are engaging in human trafficking. I searched PDFs on Google, which is about the only thing that Google is good for these days. And you can see that different governments are engaging in business transactions with CYM Corporation, who has recently renamed to Cypress Mines Corporation. It's pretty astonishing, and unfortunately, the rabbit hole goes even deeper than this. Other PDFs that have either intentionally or unintentionally been leaked by CYM Corporation. For those of you who don't already know, this goes back to theistic Satanism. And if you don't know that that's real, you have not visited the deep web. It is real. And there are multiple factions that are all against one another. Sometimes Satanists will out Luciferians, and sometimes Luciferians will out Satanists, and sometimes they out themselves because they enjoy what they do. It's an extremely deep rabbit hole that I've only just begun revealing to you. In some ways, it goes all the way back to this, which some of you know doesn't actually have much in the way of anti-aging benefits. But it doesn't matter what the truth is. What matters is what they believe. And there is a difference between the red version and the white version. If you find one of the labs in China, by the way, you'll see some of the shadiest stuff imaginable. A year ago, I found a lab that had reviews of this substance, and people were snorting it out of butt plug containers. Hell, I mean, even this shows that there's something wrong here. Okay? They flaunt what they do. There's a coffee mug as well that says, don't bother me, yeah, don't talk to me until I've had my you-know-what. So what matters is what they believe. And mind you, Donald Trump is in on it. I'm sorry that that offends you. He's actually the Antichrist. Now, if any of this surprises you, you haven't researched the deep web very often. Even if you believe that red rooms are not real, you've not researched the deep web very much. I have a former partner who would research the deep web too much. These aren't real, by the way. But he went into a red room just to see if they're legitimate. He paid $500 for it, and he had to turn himself into the FBI. And how they were managing that on the deep web, where there's low bandwidth, is beyond me, but they somehow were managing it. So if any of this shocks you, you suck at research, stop using Google. It forms an information bubble is what it does. Now, the last part of this rabbit hole that I would like to reveal is that it's all funneled in to restaurants in the third world usually, although there's some in LA and in London, where people who seem pretty normal but really aren't, eat the victims. And you should research this. It was in Africa and was closed down by authorities. And it's just so astonishing what's out there. I don't even know if I can show very much of this website. But again, if any of this is shocking to you, you don't know about Canaanite religion in modern times. Oh God. You don't know about Saturn worship. You don't know about theistic Satanism. You honestly know jack shit about what you're talking about, if any of this is surprising to you. I'll cover more of it later, but you can start by searching Office 292 Trump Tower.